So as a self-confessed someone with perfectionistic tendencies, what kind of advice would you give for someone who knows maybe this about them?
Yeah, who can identify with
Who
those
can identify
types
they're like,
of things.
oh, I've been wanting to do this business and the deck's not
or I
right.
see how it crops up in depending on what I do. I would say, well, I think first of all, you have to start reframing failure or understanding why failure, like why that fear is so big that it stops you from doing something. And I think that can be so different for many people. You know, it can be because you were told you were crap when you were younger. You weren't good at something. It could be because you're embarrassed because what judgment people, anything.
Could it just be like how you are?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, yeah. Most people, if they're fearing failure, it's more of like an external thing, right? That they fear some external judgment.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, but the reason why you have that.
Yeah. You explore that.
Exactly. You have to kind of explore
So I think you have to reframe failure and figure out that failure is actually not a bad thing. It's a great thing, really. It's just, again, a stepping stone to the next thing rather than actually like, oh my gosh, I'm crap at something, I'm terrible. It's kind of thing where if a child is not able to put, a lid on something, say something really simple, you're not going to say to them, you're a failure. You're just going to say, try again. Yeah. Try again. Try again. So it's having that same mindset to whatever you're doing is thinking it's not failure. It's just a challenge, or it's a redirection, or so definitely reframing the whole narrative around failure, I think, is really, really important.
So do you think also reframing the whole narrative around success?
Yes, exactly.
So as in like your definition of success, it's not achieving the thing necessarily, it's launching it.
Yeah. Or and it's not linear. Like it will be like they always say,
that's really important,
so maybe it is, but it will be in a different time frame. It will be via different route with different tools, using different whatever, anything. It will inevitably different to what you had in mind. So the failure part is exactly the same thing, is just don't make it a negative outcome, make it just another outcome.
So almost take the sting out of it.
Completely.
Like it is, whether it succeeds or doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just,
and I think
it's
like,
data points.
Exactly similar to how you would teach your child. You're never going to say like, or hopefully you're never going to say, if they can't do something, like, okay, you failed, you're not capable.
Yeah.
You'd always encourage them to do differently, again, try, be inventive, use different routes. So kind of using that, and you're not, we're kind of, I think as adults, we're really tough on ourselves.
Yeah.
And therefore, even the word failure, it should just be like, it's just to try again.
Yeah. It's just, well, I guess it's
try
even
differently.
it's just taking the negativity out of failure, right? If it was just, well, it was an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Just taught me something.
Neither positive nor negative.
Exactly.
It's just an experience.
Just remove the emotional side to it and just say it is what it is. So I definitely would say that is a very like helpful.
To change the narrative.
Yeah, around failure. Yeah. Because then it removes the fear. Because then you're saying, okay, I'm not scared. Because if it doesn't work how I thought it will do something else.
Yeah. Which might be even better.
Which will probably be even better. And then I'd say, and this is one I use in loads of aspects, is just, this is good enough. Yeah. Like I go to the gym, good enough.
The fact that you've just been.
Yeah. Like
even if you just walked on a treadmill.
It's good enough. Yeah. It's not perfect. It's good enough. Or, I, my business plan, my posts have done this amount of interaction, and
we're back to the LinkedIn.
It's good enough. Exactly. Like the impressions, good enough. No, but like, taking it to really like basic level, like just stop having this, it will only be good if I have, 10,000 impressions. Yeah. Just say, okay, whatever. I put it out there in the world, and then that's good enough. That's good. And same, for me, classically with the exams, I was like, if I get 60% and therefore a 2-1, good enough. Like, That was what, and genuinely I was happy with that, you know?
Yeah.
And I probably, if I had pushed myself and sacrificed other things, maybe I could have got 70%, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But that wasn't necessary for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of...
you were able to really relativize the
exactly.
objective of what you were looking for, and it fulfilled its purpose.
And I certainly didn't want to sacrifice other things like going out and having fun and stuff. So therefore you're just like, okay, that's going to work. And so I definitely would say, and everyone has their good enough is different. Some people it's 60-40, sometimes it's 80-20. I have to do this loads, like with having a kid and just managing like being a mum and thinking this is a good enough like situation. And I'm not actually, it's not an area in which I have perfectionist traits, but it's definitely areas where I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good enough, like that's fine. And that's individual to each person.
That's actually a really interesting point, the fact that it can, depending on the different thing and the person, that 80-20, 60-40, whatever, that can change. Because I do think we talk a lot about the 80-20, but you know, you're right, it might be 60-40 when it comes to the gym or whatever,
or to work, or to your relationship. Relationship is a perfect example. Like no relationship is 100% perfect. No person is 100%. So therefore no, you know, and certainly when you put 2 and 2, then it's even less perfect. But you just have to, and everyone is going to have different thresholds. Although I think, isn't it like negative, negative and a negative is a positive?
Well, that's if you plus, but if you multiply, then it's a bigger number.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's your forte. But yeah, so imagine that you are just going to say, if that person is like, again, it's making it very simplified, but like if that person is 70% good enough for me, I can deal with the 30% of not good enough. And hopefully...
This is like Indian matchmaker. You know, oh my gosh. Simi, who's like, you can only have, you know, from your list, like you have to accept that it's going to be 75%.
Oh, I
like,
didn't remember that.
What are the bits
I loved her. She was so good.
She was amazing.
And it's a bit that, you're right.
And she was like, here's your long list. Now you have to accept that 25% you're just
Chuck
not going to get. And people found it really hard.
They're like, oh, wait. Oh, yeah. But then in the other side, they can't give 100% either. So it's kind of accepting that if you can't give 100%, the person in front of you is not going to be able to give 100%. So I suppose, but again, this is not for you or I to dictate to like anyone. It's like you have to find what your good enough is.
I think that's really interesting.
And then apply that and say that's so therefore I live by, you know, that will help me live by my, you know, remove the stigma of the perfectionism and just go down the good enough route. So that I would do that. The reframe, then the
reframe, good enough.
And then, I suppose actually I would look at what it's getting in the way of.
Oh, because the deeper question. Yeah,
like, okay, if I want, what is it stopping me from doing, and what is it not supporting? My my goal or my desires or my priorities. Because then you're looking at like the loss of making that your priority of being a, you know, having the perfectionist traits. And
so what is the cost?
The cost
of
is
like
word of putting
you
it.
not achieving that thing, and maybe that will help you to get out of your own way.
I'd say that's probably quite a good way of looking at it as well.
Interesting.
Not to say that would resolve it, but at least it gives you awareness of like, oh God, because I'm that way, I haven't done this, you know, I didn't give that guy a chance, I didn't start that business, you know, so then it's like, okay, is that really, really what I want to keep doing going forwards?
I think that's really interesting from your kind of perfectionism perspective. I think when it comes to the way that I saw perfectionism from my point of view of like trying to strive, I'd say one of the things would be not setting unrealistic goals. So being realistic about what it is you are able to achieve. And, you know, a perfect plan is not necessarily needed for you to achieve something. But a system that is sustainable,
that
you can stick to, is much more likely going to help you achieve that goal.
Okay.
So focus on the right thing when it comes to trying to achieve something. Perfectionism is not needed, but good systematic plan that you can do is. There is also a bit of a reality check, because yes, if you're going to be less intense about something, it might just take a bit longer, but that's probably also a good thing or more healthy thing for that to happen, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that classic thing too, when you go on these weight loss apps and they say, how much weight do you want to lose and in how much time? So people might put, I don't know, 8 kilos in 4 weeks. Who's losing 8 kilos in 4 weeks? Like, that is so unachievable, but they will put you on a calorie restricted plan of like 1,200 calories for a month, and which is just not realistic. And that's also not healthy. So I think also reframing a little bit about what it is you are trying to achieve, and just in the grand scheme of your life and how that looks, and what are the things you would sacrifice if you go at it too intensely, versus if you pan it out, you can still achieve those things, but maybe it just takes longer. Maybe it's less intense. Maybe it's more structured around how you live. And that's not necessarily going to be the perfect way of doing it, but it will be one that works for you.
Definitely realism has to come to it. Well, also, especially if we're talking about perfection, which is not realistic, then you have to inject realistic like perspective.
But then that will change what your perception of how quickly this outcome is going to come. You have to readjust these things. And I think there's an injection of realism, like you said, that kind of has to happen.